Okay, so one thing before we begin. I've actually started a giveaway. If you comment the word plush on my last uploaded video, which is the Werewolf Romance Novel Part 2, you will be entered into a giveaway. Patreons who are $1 pledges will get 1 extra entry, and Patreons who are $5 will get 5 extra entries. You have until the 30th to comment. There will be 2 winners. The first winner will receive a custom handmade plush of any character from any media, and the second will receive a plush custom themed keychain. My Etsy is linked down below if you'd like to get an idea of what you could win. On with the merit show. Before anyone starts and says, you're just jumping on the Rich Lux hate train, you're a hater and you'll hate him for anything. I've heard of Rich Lux and I've known about him for a long time. I've watched some clips of him. And honestly, I've just never vibed with that, because he always gave me that sense that he is that one gay friend that will say some really nasty stuff and turn around and go, well, I'm just the sassy gay friend, okay? I'm just being shady. God, take a joke. I'm just so shady. I'm LGBT, I've hung around in LGBT circles, and if you're LGBT and you can't think of that friend, you're that friend, I'm sorry. One thing that does fascinate me about Rich is how much he's able to talk about Jeffree Star on his channel without actually saying anything. Without actually hitting anything that's remotely important or could actually be detrimental in some circumstances to Jeffree. I've said in the past that we are all hypocrites. We all condemn something we've all once done before. However, you are taking the piss if you do it in the exact same video with contradictory statements about said thing. Let's roll the video reaction into clothing lines are too far to release during a pandemic, but mirrors, makeup mirrors, by Jeffree Star, totally fine. For this section of the video, I did record some of it downstairs as people were going to bed, so I apologise for any echoes towards the middle and end.
What day did he drop? He dropped it the day, I think it was 4 days ago. He dropped this fashion line right around the same time that Jeffree Star released his 420 collection. The shirt was $60. Girl, he dropped a clothing line in the midst of an epidemic.
It's not an epidemic, it's a pandemic. Examples of epidemics include the Great Plague of Marseille in 1720 to 1722 in France, and the Black Death, which was mostly kept within Europe.
That's almost like Kim Kardashian recently just dropped a perfume fragrance in the midst of an epidemic. I'm not kidding you guys. Like, there are people who are dropping things. This is the time, look, don't come for me. This is the time when you should drop existing products. Look what's back in stock now. Check it out. Like, this is not a time to launch big items. This was his moment, okay? This was his moment to shine, and he does it in the midst of an epidemic.
I could be petty and continue on editing in pictures of Jeffree's new collection, but I think you all get my point. Let's follow Rich Lux's line of logic. It is wrong to bring out new products, such as Kim Kardashian and Nate's clothing line, during a pandemic. But it's fine for Jeffree to release a makeup palette. I don't know too much about Nate. I don't know his net worth. I assume he's pretty well off. I don't know if he's passionate about clothing design or not, so I can't tell you about his intentions, whether he actually wants to do this or if it's a money grab. But what I can tell you is I have no problem with somebody starting a business during a pandemic. Perhaps prior to the pandemic, a lot of people who wanted to start businesses just didn't have the time to get designs together, to get employees, to set up a website, but because of lockdown they can. What I do have a problem with is multi-millionaire companies releasing products during a pandemic. My issue is twofold. First, you already are millionaires. You don't need to bring out a new perfume or a new eyeshadow. You will be fine financially for possibly the next few years, even longer, if you actually invest and play your cards right. Depending on how lavish your lifestyle is and how recklessly you spend your money, you could be set for life. So it's just unnecessary. Second, with your millionaire fortune probably comes fame and therefore influence. People will feel far more obliged to buy your product than some small business. Therefore, it's greedy and it's exploitation, releasing products in a time where the majority of your fans will probably be suffering from either unemployment or a reduced pay. I don't know where Rich gets the logic of Nate's clothing line is bad because it was released during a pandemic, but Jeffree Star's palette is great even though it was released at the same time. You could go into, oh my god, it's so overpriced. Yeah, but they're $2 apart, and yeah, for a hoodie, $60 is a lot of money. But you only brought up the price because you wanted to make a dig at Nate. You only brought up the design because you wanted to make a dig at Nate. Let's be honest. For the next part of the video, be ready for some more hypocrisy, as well as some malicious jokes aimed at James Charles, and downplaying just a pandemic that has killed thousands, because, you know, it's whatever.
I just seen Jeffree Star's new makeup collection, and it was so, wait, hold on, I have all the receipts right here. And it was so nice to see James Charles make an appearance. I was like, oh my god, they are friends. James Charles never looked better, girl. Love her so much. Y'all saw her posing and everything?
That is so cute, Rich. To say that the table with the woman on her knees in front of Jeffree is somehow comparable to James Charles, who is a boy who is accused of being by Jeffree without any evidence. That's super, super cute.
I'm just joking. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. God, take a joke.
Yeah, because it's such a funny, funny joke to say that a boy's reputation who is tarnished by Jeffree, among other people, is just a joke. Just to say, you know, he's at the mercy of Jeffree on his knees because of these fake allegations. Oh, it's so funny.
Okay, the receipts are the name cremated was picked out months ago. Let me roll that receipt, sweetie.
I know that it was already picked out months ago, and I'm not bothered by this, but I am bothered by having to watch your fantabulous performance trying to cover Jeffree's ass. That is, I just don't find the appeal of how someone being obnoxious is funny or entertaining. Sweetie!
So the people, the children, the legendary children of the world, they're saying that this is very insensitive times to name a palette cremated, and people are so offended by the name.
I'm not offended by the name, but I am offended by having to watch this video for research and having to endure your personality and your voice.
The cremated name, people are offended because right now, during this time, many people are, unfortunately, getting cremated due to the drama, you know, of the world.
I'm sorry, did you just refer to a pandemic that is killing thousands as drama? I'm sorry. Can you roll that again?
The drama, you know, of the world.
This is why I have a problem with certain tea and drama channels covering serious topics, because they confuse serious topics with drama and tea. A pandemic that is killing thousands is not drama, it is not tea. The case of Darby Vanity is not drama, it is not tea. And obviously anyone in any genre of any channel can cover whatever topic they like. Just don't refer to it as tea or drama, because that seriously plays down the severity of it.
So this had to be planned months and months and months ago, before the epidemic, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, that thing that is killing thousands of people and everyone's being locked in their homes so they don't devastate other people who are more vulnerable than them with this risk? Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
It just so happened to be that the drama causes people to get cremated.
A deadly virus is not drama.
And up until this point, many people were cremated before this. And some people choose to be cremated.
Oh, gee golly, thanks, Rich. I had no idea that people chose to be cremated before 2020. This is brand new information. Somebody call all of the news sites. I don't have a problem with the name. I know it was trademarked months ago. I know all of this, but the timing is a bit strange. And the timing may not even come with the name itself, but releasing a new collection during a pandemic, which is something you criticised Nate and Kim Kardashian for doing, but somehow you don't have a problem with it in this current circumstance. I wonder why. I didn't want to parrot the points of other people too much. Those are just reactions to 2 videos I managed to stomach. There's also blatant displays of transphobia, which you can see in Creepshow Art's video, which I'll link in the description below. Again, there's double standards with that. Apparently, James Charles is a trans woman for reasons, even though he's probably just as effeminate as Jeffree, but Jeffree gets the right to be respected when it comes to his pronouns, just James doesn't. She also covers the racist messages that was leaked by Rich. And of course, his defense is to bring up somebody he pays who just happens to be black. I wouldn't work for this man if he was a racist, except he pays you. He can pay you to do things. It's what an employer does. For me, it's clear that Rich Lux is a lapdog for Jeffree Star, who traded his due diligence and his dignity for dollars. His performance is solely based around defending Jeffree Star. And yeah, it's a performance. Most YouTubers will hype up their personalities for the camera, no matter how irritating it may be. It's a character. It's a facade. And I have nothing against that. I love drag shows, I love going to drag shows, I love seeing drag performers, and I love watching them exaggerate their personalities for humour. It's absolutely great. Sometimes it's absolutely hilarious, sometimes it falls flat. But otherwise, I love that stuff. But this facade is much more than his personality. It's a complete mask in order to protect Jeffree. He's using the personality he had and the personality he has to make Jeffree look good and keep him the top dog. But guess what, Rich? I don't have any sympathy for you, whether you're scared of him, whether you need the money, because your negligence towards your fan base, you omitting information about Jeffree's involvement in certain situations, endangers them when it comes to having full knowledge and full capacity to understand a case. It goes further than just drama and tea. This is accusations of behaviour, and you are allowing Jeffree to stay complicit by not speaking up on it, because there are truths we are yet to hear and things that Jeffree knows that he will not say because there are people like you backing him up. You are a lapdog, and when dogs outlive their usefulness, when they start to become old and haggard and no longer wanted, sometimes they get put down.